The U.S. Army's Lake City ammunition plant in Missouri has been targeted by the New York Times. As you may know, the U.S. Army sells some of the 9mm and .223 ammunition produced there commercially. Now the anti-gunners want that to stop. I want to tell you more about it because it bears watching, but first, I want to thank the sponsor of the video. This video is brought to us today by LAS Concealment. LAS Concealment has been making some of the best holsters around for years. LAS Concealment makes precision-formed Kydex gear starting from 3D CAD files. Their proprietary moldings are CNC machined to give their products a unique feel while raising the level of quality. Their inside the waistband and outside the waistband holsters are combat tested by special forces in overseas operations. They have hundreds of different patterns, colors, and materials to go with thousands of pistol, light, and magazine carrier combinations as well. Plus, they're made right here in the good old USA. Thanks to LAS Concealment for sponsoring this video. Hey guys, my name is Jared. This is Guns and Gadgets, and on this channel I bring you Second Amendment news every single day, from good to bad to ugly to indifferent, legislation to litigation and everything in between. And if you want to stay in the know, subscribe to the channel down below. Let's jump into this one because ammo is on everybody's minds right now, right? Okay, so the New York Times did a little hit piece in which they say that more than 1 million pages of research, search warrants, police evidence logs, ballistic reports, forfeiture records, and court proceedings were compiled by the Times. And they did this in a sweeping accounting of how Lake City ammunition, which they say was once intended only for war, but some of their ammunition has fallen into the hands of criminals. And this is what they're trying to scare people on, and they had 4 takeaways. Now I'm going to surmise these 4 takeaways because I think a lot of it is based in fear-mongering BS, but I want you to be aware of it because this is the pressure that this ammunition plant that has twice now in the last 2 years, well, once we know of because one of the general's emails came out last year, Biden said stop selling that ammunition commercially. This year, there's claims of commercial contracts and commercial orders being canceled, but people on the inside are saying that's not the case, yet other people are saying it might be the case. You get it, right? The last thing we need is more pressure from these clowns to make this decision harder or difficult, more easy for them rather than being more difficult. So here are the 4 craziness things that the anti-gun communist people are trying to put onto Lake City. They said, first off, that Lake City is one of the country's largest manufacturers of commercial rounds for AR-15 style rifles. Yeah, the .223. About 20% of the market is Lake City ammunition. Now, they said that Lake City manufactures hundreds of millions of rounds for the commercial market every year since 2011. I don't know if they produce that much, but that sounds like a lot. And I know that I have a few viewers who actually work at the plant, and I would appreciate y'all chiming in. If you don't want to do it in the comments down below, then hit me the way you guys have hit me in the past, just to get that information. I guess to be honest with it, because I don't trust the Times. Now, the Times is making a stink because for most of that period, the commercial operations outpaced the military business. They outproduced the military side. Why? Because we weren't really giving everything to Ukraine or Israel or anything else since 2011. But according to the U.S. Army, by 2021, commercial output, which includes retail sales as well as purchases by law enforcement agencies and foreign governments, well, those sales, the commercial sales, had outpaced military production by more than 2x. That's a lot. Number 2, the number 2 thing they're trying to scare everybody about is that the vast majority of Lake City ammunition rounds sold by retailers have gone to law-abiding citizens, of course, right? To include hunters and farmers and target shooters and you and me and everybody else we know. But, like I said earlier, because Lake City produces about 20% of the .223 rounds on the market, of course, some of the Lake City rounds have been used by bad people doing bad things. The report says that some of the Lake City rounds have been seized from drug dealers and violent felons, anti-government groups, rioters at the U.S. Capitol, and smugglers for Mexican cartels. Quick note, the only person who actually used a gun in any negative way was a member of law enforcement and shot an innocent person who was unarmed. But yeah, so these rounds have also been confiscated from a man in Massachusetts who threatened to assassinate Barack Obama when he was president, and also from a man at the Los Angeles International Airport after he fired at civilians and 3 TSA agents, killing one of them. So that's their scare tactic. They're saying these rounds have done bad things. It's not the rounds. It's not the rounds. The third thing they tried to scare everybody on was they said that Lake City rounds have been tied to at least a dozen mass shootings involving AR-15 style firearms. Now, they listed the whole list of them, and I thought I'd run them down anyway so you can get that on your mind. Century 16 Cinema in Aurora, Colorado in 2012. Social Services Center in San Bernardino, California in 2015. The Music Festival at the Las Vegas Strip in 2017, the bump stock one. The First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs. The Marjorie Stoneham Douglas High School shooting in Parkland. The Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh. And they listed a whole bunch of them, but you get the point, right? They're trying to say that these rounds did all this stuff. The rounds didn't do anything. The next thing they talk about is they try to build a connection between the Lake City rounds that are for sale to commercially to the public, that they are connected to high-profile crimes and a source of concerns for the plant's contractors. Now, the Times claims that secrecy around commercial production has helped to hide the scale, and that the U.S. Army has routinely played down the plant's role in manufacturing ammunition for citizens. But the Times got 4 former employees who they say were not authorized to speak publicly, yet they did to the Times. And they said that contractors worried about the possibility of Lake City ammunition appearing in violent crimes. They said that after mass shootings in particular, managers were terrified. That's a word that they quoted, terrified that journalists might cover a connection. And yet, here they are. The Times is doing that. So amid concerns over current production and availability of the 223 ammunition, the New York Times is trying to put pressure on the Lake City ammo plant by claiming that their commercially sold rounds are being manufactured on government property. They don't think that should happen. And somehow, some of these rounds have been used in violent crimes, including mass shootings. What a complete nothing burger this is. If we were to use this train of thought, then the following would apply as well, right? Some Dodge, Ford, Chevy, General Motors, Honda, Toyota, some of those cars have been used in drunk driving deaths. Some of them have been used in collision fatalities. Some pencils are used by people who misspell words and get test questions wrong. Some hammers are actually used to murder people. Does that mean that all of those inanimate objects, are they the blame? No. What it does mean is that people willingly use those items to do whatever it is they did. It's the person. It's the heart and mind. It's not the inanimate object. There is a thing on my hip that can't do anything unless I do stuff with it. I hope this additional pressure that's being put on this plant doesn't accomplish what the American Communist Party has been trying to do for years, and that is for Lake City to stop producing commercial sales of ammunition for the public. But that's what I think. That's what I can give you for information. What do you all think of this? And I know that, like I said, there are some employees of the plant. I hope that you might feel comfortable still in letting me know what's going on. If any of this has permeated within the walls, within management, if the pressure the Times is seeking to heap on y'all, if it's having any effect. I hope it's just a nothing burger and it blows over, because most people realize that, it's not the thing. Like, This knife is capable of so much good. It's also capable of so much bad. What decides on what this tool, this inanimate object does, this is metal, it's not alive, what has all of the deciding factors is how I use it versus how another person uses it. This will never kill anybody sitting there. But some mad person who grabs it and does bad things with it, that's who we need to start targeting. Go hard on the criminals who do violent things to people. Put them where they should be. Don't just give them a smack on the wrist and let them run wild, and actually basically empower them to keep doing it again. But what do I know? Sign off down below. Let me know what you think. Until we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, and carry a gun to keep you, your friends, your family, your community safe. Guys and gals, I appreciate all of you way more than you know. Hope you have a phenomenal day. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.